In this video, I'm going to show you one of the features available with identity columns. Last week, I was searching on the identity column something related to seeding to the table. I found something interesting, thought of recording some video on that. For example, when you insert a higher value into identity column, the seed will get incremented to the whatever the higher value that you insert. For example, let me show you that I'm creating a table. So here I'm creating the table with a couple of columns. You can see that it is created. So this is the structure of that column. Okay, so let's insert some of couple of records. Okay, one record is inserted. You can see it is inserted. So to check the identities, we use the check identity or ident current, whatever. Okay, so let's use this one. You can see the current identity value is 1 and the current column value is 1. You can see that the value right now it is 1 and the seed value is 1 now. Let's insert one more record. You can see it inserted. The current column value is 2 because we inserted a new row. Okay, so the value is 2 and the identity is 2. Now let's do this. So if you want to insert a higher value, your own value into the identity column, you have to say identity insert on and off. Of course, you know this. So let's say I'm specifying 100. I wanted to insert value 100. Okay, inserted one row. You can see that the 100 is there. So now let's run this one. It says the current identity value is 100, current column value is 100. So the column value is 100 and also the identity it reseeded to 100. Okay, so because you inserted higher value, it automatically reseeds. But the thing is, I wanted to insert 100, but I want the current identity value to be 3 because see, this application is inserting 1, 2, 3 serially, one by one, and I insert manually, random value, let's say 100 or 1 million something. Okay, just because I insert some higher value, I don't want the identity value to get reseeded to the higher value, whichever number I set. Okay, I may be inserting some random values for whatever reason. My goal is to how to keep this value 3 instead of reseeding it to 100 just because I inserted a higher value. So there is something in the identity column properties. So you have for that you have to what you have to do is you have to specify. Let's create one more table. This time I'm going to say not null, not for replication. I'm creating another table with this one. Okay, I created one more table. Let's refresh this. You can see that this table is created with not for replication property. So this is how it works. when you connect to the database, the connection should have the additional property called replication. Replication is equal to true or false. By default, it is set as false. When you connect through Management Studio, it is application that you connect to the database, right? So it has the default replication property, connection property value as false. But what I'm going to do in order to not to reseed to higher value that you saw here, okay, in order to not to behave this way and keep the identity value as 3 instead of 100, two things should happen. Okay, the table should have this property not for replication, and then you should connect to the database as a replication user. So what does that mean? How do you connect? Okay, let's see that how it works. So I'm connecting to, okay, I made a new connection. You can see that I already made a new connection. So I'm going to disconnect this session and then connect it again. But this time I'm going to set replication equal to true. You can see that replication equal to true to the same database, win source. All right. Now let's copy this stuff. Okay, this time I'm going to insert one record. Okay, since I have set replication equal to true, I cannot run the statement. It says explicit value must be specified just because you connected as a replication user. So you have to say ID 1, something like this. Now you run this one, you have this value, and when you run this, see, it didn't change. Okay, you can insert as many number as you want, but it's not going to change. New number 2, number 3. Okay, so you can see that here the values are inserted, and then you check the identity, still it is showing null. Now let's insert this one. Now value got 100. What is the identity? Still null. You can reseed this value to 5. Okay, let's do this. So now let's copy this, go here, the other one, and you insert value. Here you cannot do this. Let's say I insert. No, you have to specify the set identity insert in this connection, because this is the default connection which has a replication property called false. So here I have to remove this one. This is a default connection. Okay, now I inserted the value here, then come back here and check for identity. Now it has the value 5. I insert one more row, then come here. You can see that now this is value 7. Okay, now to insert 8, insert one more time, and value got value 8, because the identity will not reseed if you connect to the database as a replication user. That's the point I'm trying to make here. You can see that the identity value is not changing just because you are inserting higher value. So this is a replication, this connection is a replication user. Okay, so this you cannot execute. Okay, what happens if you do execute? If you do execute, it says, okay, let's insert one new one here. Okay, it looks like you can execute. So it looks like it doesn't matter you specify this or not, still it is taking this identity insert on off. I think when I tried this on SQL 2012, it didn't accept set identity the statement, because replication user the connection with replication user, you cannot set identity insert on SQL 2012. That's what I remember. But this is SQL 2016. You can set this identity on off, but it doesn't matter. It is doing what it does. So you can insert another record. Okay, so let's see. We got 103, and then now you check for this. It still has value 8. Okay, so now this is the application connection, and it inserts one more row, and you can see the value is 9. So identity is value is 9, even though the current column value is 100.